Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So on today's video, I'm finally gonna tell you guys my birth story. And if I'm whispering, it's because my baby is sleeping in the nursery and I don't want to wake him. I just put him down, so I don't think he'll wake up, but just in case I'm whispering here and there, that's why. So my dishwasher is also running. This is a really raw video, and I'm gonna explain to you guys why I can't film from my beauty room right now. But just know that I'm trying to make it work because it's been a while since I filmed a video, and it's actually been like 3 weeks since giving birth, so it's just been a long time. So where should I start? Okay, so Sunday, May 3rd in the morning, I told my boyfriend that I had felt a little bit of a trickle, and this was just like after going to the bathroom. So I didn't think I was peeing myself. I thought maybe, what if it's like amniotic fluid that's leaking? And so I remembered that the midwives had told me, if you think that your water ruptured or your bag of water ruptured, walk around the house without panties, and if like the liquid comes down all the way to your feet, then it's most likely amniotic fluid. And I did that and nothing happened. So I went about my day. Monday, I had a prenatal appointment. I had mentioned to the midwife what had happened on Sunday, thinking that maybe my water broke, but really nothing happened. So I told her, and she felt like maybe it'd be necessary to do a swab test to see if there was any amniotic fluid leaking. So she swabbed a little bit and then left the room, and then came back and she said, yep, there's amniotic fluid. I think your bag of water might have ruptured since Sunday. And she said, what time did you notice that happen? And I said, I think around 8 in the morning-ish. And she's like, so it's almost been, 18 hours since your bag of water broke, which means you're going to have to go to the hospital right now, and we're going to have to induce you. When she said that, I couldn't believe it because I'm like, induce? In my mind, you guys know, I've been wanting a natural birth. Induction was like, it never crossed my mind that I'd ever be induced. So when she said that, I was kind of like set back. But anyway, she said, you have to go right now. And I'm like, and I remember saying like, right now? And she said, yeah, like right now. She said, we're going to let the people know that you're going to go. They're going to be waiting for you. You're going to have to just go. I left the office, and as I was leaving the office, I called my boyfriend, which he was waiting for me outside anyways, but I just couldn't wait. I'm like, let me call him right now. I'm like, guess what? Apparently my bag of water has been ruptured since Sunday morning, and since it's been too long, I'm gonna get induced. And he couldn't believe it either. It was just like, it was still just some, we couldn't believe it. So anyways, we got to the hospital, and when we got to the hospital, because of the COVID-19 and everything that's been going on, they had us wait in the lobby. They took our temperature. We were both good. The only thing was that he wasn't allowed to go upstairs with me until I was admitted. And granted, right now, when I got there, they were only going to set me into the triage just to make sure that my water was indeed broken, and then they were going to admit me. So when I got there, the midwife that was there, she said, yeah, let's do another test. So she did another test, and that test came back negative. So then I'm like, oh my God, hopefully my bag of water didn't break and I get to go home and labor naturally like I want to. So she said, you know what, we're going to do another test. This test takes an hour to get back to us, and it's a more accurate test. I told Sergio, I'm like, hey, they're going to take another test. The first one came back negative. If you want to go home because this one takes an hour to come back. And he actually did go home because we were so like dumbfounded that we forgot to bring the child seat. So he went home and got everything that he needed. And then after an hour or so, the test came back and it was positive. So my bag of water indeed was broken. And then so after that, they admitted me. By that time, Sergio was already back. He was waiting in the lobby, and I had them call him to come up, and he did. He came up.
Baby boy, we're about to have you earlier than expected, but as long as you're healthy, you're good. Going to see your mama right now.
So we were getting settled into our room, and then just shortly after, they started Pitocin to induce me just to start those contractions. I think I started feeling the contractions within like 30 minutes after they put the Pitocin in me, and they started out slow, and it was really good, and then they started getting stronger and stronger. I didn't realize that Sergio had recorded me having one of those contractions. I think some of the strongest ones towards the end. He recorded me having one, so I'll show you guys that clip in a little bit. But yeah, I started having these strong contractions.
Nice deep breaths. Nice work, baby. Nice work. There you go. Just relax your body, baby. Feel an urge to push?
I couldn't really get comfortable other than just being in the bed. And you'll see it in the video. I'm laying in bed having a contraction, and that was the only position that I can labor in. I was trying to like get up and do some walking or, you know, kind of get my body moving, but I couldn't. It was just not happening. I mean, everything that we learned in these classes, I was trying, but the pain was just unbearable. And that position that you guys see me in, that's pretty much the position I was for most of my labor. I got to 10 centimeters without an epidural. Hallelujah. That I do take a lot of pride in, because I didn't think I could get to that point without epidural, but I did. And I'm so thankful for Sergio, because he really was a great coach. A lot of the nurses and the midwives that were actually there they're just being funny, because they were calling him a doula. I don't know if you guys know what a doula is, but they're saying that, you know, he should go and become a doula because he was such a great coach, and he really got me to 10 centimeters without an epidural. I give him so much credit to that. And he'll say, you know, like, I did most of the work, yes, but he really did help me through all those contractions. So I'm really, really grateful for him. Okay, so we got to 10 centimeters, and then I kind of got the urge to push. And so the midwife said, if you have the urge to push, then push. So we started pushing, and 2 hours later, nothing was happening. Like, the baby was not coming out. And so the midwife there decided, let's do a vaginal exam just to see what's going on. And so she went and did it, and she said, it seems like your cervix is closing up. It was at 10 centimeters, but now I would say it's like either 9 or 9.5 centimeters. And I was like, what? So for some reason, the pushing was closing up my cervix. It wasn't helping. And so what she wanted to do was, as I was having a contraction, like a pushing contraction, she said that the cervix, there's like a little part of the cervix that was in the way. So she said, you know, we can move it out of the way. It's been done before where they can move it out of the way, and as I push, it lets way for the baby to come. So that was so painful. Granted, I still don't have an epidural, and that was so painful. Like, I remember screaming bloody murder as she was doing it, because not only am I having a really strong contraction, but she's in there moving my cervix to try to make things happen. She suggested doing Benadryl. So Benadryl is used to soften the cervix a little bit, and she was hoping that maybe that would help soften it and then get things moving. So we did that. After the Benadryl kicked in, we tried the whole thing all over again, and nothing happened. Nothing. Oh my God, I keep yawning. I'm so tired. So since nothing was happening, she suggested, all right, you have 3 options for like pain management, because the whole process like was so painful. I think that was whatever she's doing, like trying to move the cervix, was more painful than the contractions themselves. So combined together, it was just awful. So by that time, she said there's 3 different drugs that we can try for pain management, and then this way she can do what she's doing, and then I can push more efficiently. So she explained all 3. She said we could try this one first, and if not, we could try this one, and then if not, we can do the epidural, which would have been the last option. And at that point, I was like, you know what? We already did Pitocin. I didn't want to do Pitocin. We did Benadryl. I didn't want to do, you know, all this medication. So if we're going to do more medication, we might as well just do the epidural, not do those 2 or 3 combined. If one didn't work, then trying the other one. So I said, let's just do the epidural, get it over with. And if this is going to work to get the baby out, then let's do it. So we did the epidural, kicked in. It actually felt so good to rest with the epidural. I don't think I'll do an epidural for the next birth. Like, I think I still want to do it natural, but man, I can see why people actually just prefer doing an epidural because you feel nothing. It feels really good. So once the epidural hit, she did that. And again, I didn't feel anything at that point. And I was pushing, with the contraction. With an epidural, they have to let you know, okay, you're having a contraction because you really don't feel anything. So they're telling me, okay, there's a contraction coming, push. She's in there trying to move the cervix, and all the while, nothing is working. And then this was 4 hours already. 4 hours of pushing and nothing happening. She even said that the baby hadn't even dropped enough. Like, she couldn't even feel the head. Like, there is no progression. So at that point, she called the on-call OB. And then the on-call OB did the same thing. She did a vaginal exam, trying to figure things out. And she said, you know what? You're going to have to do a C-section. That's the only thing. By that time, it's already Tuesday. We went in there on Monday around 6 o'clock. This time is already Tuesday, and my water had been broken since Sunday. They're so concerned. My temperature was actually rising. I was actually getting a mild fever by that point. So they said, you know what? We need to do a C-section. So that was like heartbreaking because I really didn't want to be induced. I didn't want to do an epidural. And above all, I didn't want a C-section. Like, I'm pretty much getting the works with everything at the hospital and the birth. And obviously, I wanted my baby to be okay. So we signed off on the C-section, and that's what we ended up doing. So after signing off of it, they got us into the operating room, and the whole surgery happened really, really fast. I think they did it within less than 30 minutes. And it was so nice because I thought they put you to sleep. No, they numb you, but you're able to hear everything, not see everything because they put a curtain, but pretty much you're awake. You feel movements and stuff, but you don't feel any pain. And so I heard the baby cry, and I thought he was out already. And it was funny because the doctor said, oh my God, you're not even out and you're already crying. And when he was finally out, he came out crying, and it was just so emotional. They handed him over to me, and I remember the midwife taking Sergio's phone and telling us to say cheese or whatever for a picture, and I'll post the picture right here. It was just so precious, and even though it didn't go the way I wanted it to go, I know, I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but I think I gave it my all, and that's all I could ask for. And I'm just glad that I was safe, the baby was safe, he came out healthy. I remember Sergio saying that I guess they measure for some reason, they give the baby a score, and one of the nurses said that he was a 9.5, and then another nurse said no, he's a 10, he's perfect. He came out perfect. He came out nice and healthy, and he's just the cutest baby. Have I said his name? I don't even know if I've said his name. This whole thing is all over the place. We named him Lucas Mojica, which was funny because we had two options for his name. We still hadn't picked out a name. We had two options, so we were going to decide those two names when we saw him. But I always liked Lucas, and Sergio wasn't really too fond of that name. But after having gone through this whole ordeal of labor, I think Sergio, after the baby came out and they were asking for a name, Sergio's you can choose whatever name you want. Now, I don't even know if he said between those two. I think I even asked him any name? He's yeah, just you choose a name. When he said that, I was Lucas. And he's okay, his name's gonna be Lucas. And so we named him Lucas, but instead of the C, we put a K. So it's Lucas with a K, and his last name's Mojica. So Lucas Mojica. He was born Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, at 3:26. I think he weighed 7 pounds 5 ounces, and then 20 inches long. Oh, something that I forgot to mention was that after the whole C-section was said and done, they realized that my baby was in an occiput posterior position, and that is why we were having such a hard time getting him out. After researching that position, usually babies, when they come out, he was not breached, so he was head down. But when babies come out, they come out with their head like this. Well, he would have came out, and you would have seen not his face first, you would have seen the back of his head first. And when they're in that position, it's a very difficult position to give birth in. A lot of people tend to have back labor. I didn't have that, but for some reason it's a very hard position to give labor in, and sometimes it's enough reason to have a C-section, and that's why we ended up having that C-section, like failure to progress. He was in that odd position, and it was kind of reassuring to know exactly why nothing was working, because he was in that occiput posterior position. So I did ask the midwives if it was something that we could have prevented, and she said sometimes they do go back into a position where it's more favorable right before labor, but even if they manage to turn him around, they can always move back. So it's just pretty much how nature works. They really can't do too much about it, but at least we know exactly why we had such a hard time with him, and that's why. But yeah, that is pretty much my birth story. Right now I think I've been mostly kind of recovering from the C-section. I think right now we're at week 3 post-surgery, post-birth, and I'm not gonna lie, the first week was rough. And the first week was pretty much at the hospital because he was born Tuesday and we didn't leave until Friday. We struggled a little bit with breastfeeding. I think we're getting a lot better. He's gaining weight, which is awesome because he did lose a lot of weight because of the whole breastfeeding thing. And they were kind of like nervous about me like maybe needing more support and stuff like that. So we finally got the hang of it once we got home. I think it was like just the hospital setting just wasn't working. The pillows were just so limp. I didn't really get a lot of support from the pillow. I don't know, the hospital it just wasn't great. When we got home, I think the second week we started kind of getting in the hang of it. And then now at week 3, I'd say he's pretty good about eating pretty well. And even with the pediatric appointments, he's already surpassed his birth weight. And yeah, I think that's it for my birth story. We ended up going from wanting a very natural birth to having a C-section. And just looking back at it, I'm just grateful that everything turned out really well for myself and for him. Again, like I said, we're both really healthy. And yeah, I think that's it. I hope I covered everything. If you guys have any questions about exactly breastfeeding and how that's going, or like sleeping at night, like if you guys have any questions or you guys want me to talk about certain things, please let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I am excited to come back, and now that I finally filmed this video, I think I could film other things besides that, because I know a lot of people have been wanting to know exactly what happened, because the picture that I posted with us in the OR room, I think gave it away that we pretty much had a C-section. So everybody wanted to know exactly what happened, because the whole time I was talking about a natural birth, and then here I am in the operating room having a C-section. So yeah. Hopefully that answered a lot of your questions or your curiosity. That's why I'm filming in the kitchen, because I can't really go up and down the stairs too much. So I'm leaving the stair use just for strictly going upstairs to my bedroom, going to bed. But yeah, I think within 6 weeks I should be fully healed and ready to start filming back into my beauty room. For now, I'm in my kitchen and I have a lot of my makeup right here on the kitchen table. And I don't use makeup every day. I think I just put some today for the video. And then here and there I do put a little bit of makeup just to feel a little bit better and less raggedy. But yeah, that's how my life is going right now. And I wouldn't have it any other way, because it's all for my baby boy. And he's just the cutest. If you guys want to see a lot more of him, I'm going to put my Instagram handle up above. It's _AlexRico. And there's a highlights under baby Lucas, I think it is, and you could see from like when we left the hospital up until now. So yeah, that is it for today's video. I'm excited to be back. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.